Hi folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, when I was on one of these specially protected waterways that are only open for 2 weeks each year, I met a guy that he was fishing alone in a canoe, and I was fishing with my buddy Rust. And I was watching him, and I said, Rust, I'm seeing him hook some fish. He is catching some really nice fish. And finally, as we were fighting the wind and we got a little closer to him, he was looking at our boat, and he kept looking kind of suspiciously. It was a canoe, not our boat, our canoe. And all of a sudden he said, "Are you Don?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm Don." He says, "Oh my goodness, I've been watching your videos on Up North NY." Now, I want you folks to remember that. Up North NY is my buddy Dave Swanson's YouTube channel. It's free, and he is putting new videos on every day of the fishing that I do and my friends do, and they're short videos, but it gives you a chance to see some of the fish that you hear me talking about here on the radio. And so the guy from Long Island, and it came to be known that his name was Scott, had been watching these videos, and he decided to come up here and fish this area himself. Now, the story really that I want to let you know is twofold. Number one, Scott now is spending an awful lot of time fishing these waters up here. He says, we don't have anything like that on Long Island, or probably in most parts of New England. And this is what I've been saying for years. And he said, this area that we were fishing, he said, honestly, this is a fishing mecca. That was the word he used, a fishing mecca. And again, how much of the wonderfulness that we have around us do we take for granted? That's not a bad thing. It's just a human nature thing. But this area really is, for people that come from other areas, it is a fishing mecca. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is Scott was using a lure that I hadn't used in years and years. I mean, years and years. And it's been around forever. It's called a buzzbait. And I've explained what a buzzbait was before on the radio. I've told you that it's got like a propeller thing that buzzes along the surface. You cast it out, it doesn't sink down. Well, it would if you didn't do anything, but you reel it and it will stay right on top, making this buzzing, sputtering of the water as it goes. Well, he was using a black and purple full-sized one. It wasn't a little ultralight like I've got, but it was a full-size buzzbait made, he said, by Booyah. And he caught a number of really big fish. Now, here's the advantage, and here's what I want you to realize that you would enjoy using something like this, is every strike, every fish that hits this, you're going to see. So you're not only going to feel it, but you're going to see it at the same time. And that is a really fun way to fish. Well, by the end of the day, and we were catching fish on other things. A spinnerbait was working really well for me, and my buddy Rust was using a little, really tiny bait, and he was catching some big fish. And that's what was called a baby goat made by Z-Man, a baby goat. It's not trying to look like a goat, but for some reason they named it that. Maybe the greatest of all time, I don't know. But my point is that if you really get good and have confidence in what you're using, whatever bait that might be, there's an awful lot of different ways to catch fish. And I think to myself, I go to a place like this and I think, boy, I'm getting fish. I bet nobody else has got my secret. And then I look around and I see another boat and I see the rod bending and I'm thinking, maybe I don't have the secret. Maybe there isn't a secret. Maybe what it is there's an awful lot of different ways that you can catch a fish. And there's an awful lot of different lures out there. And if you have one that you tend to like, you're going to fish it better than other people might. You're going to fish it better than you would fish something else because you think this is the lure. This is what's going to get them. And by golly, it probably will. And it's humbling for me because a lot of times I think, wow, I've spent my whole life fishing. I think I might be better than some of these people out here. I'm not. I'm not. The only thing I probably might do better than a lot is just laugh and enjoy, and fishing to me means so much I can't even put it into words. And maybe that's what I do best, is just try to put it into words. I don't know. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.